Now, what do you want to happen at the end of treatment?
Oh, do you mean? Yeah, right? If I can look better than I am.
Phet's a mum. She works as an engineer who has to talk to a lot of people every day. She had a front tooth knocked out when she fell over while she was walking. She saw an emergency dentist and she had it glued in temporarily on the adjacent teeth. But this wasn't a long-term option because it started to cause her gums to go really red and inflamed and look terrible.
3 years ago, I broke another one, and that sort of get infected. Yes, and then I need an implant on that. And then 2 years ago, when I broke this one again, the same one that with the post, and that because it's in the front, so and that become an it needs to be fixed.
As you can imagine, she was really uncomfortable smiling. She hated smiling in photos. People didn't think that she was happy.
I become conscious. As soon as you laugh, and then it doesn't run its course. You have to cover it up. You gotta somehow break it off.
Now, when you meet Phet and she's comfortable, you immediately know that she's funny, she's smiley, and she's an outgoing person. So we started looking at getting her into a healthy state first and then focused on a smile. We began by looking at the harmony of the white aesthetics, which is the teeth. And then we looked at the pink aesthetics, which is the gums, and something what we call the negative space, which is the dark areas, and see how it's in harmony with the patient's facial features and bite. And that's the crucial thing here that makes or breaks the aesthetic cases. In this situation, we have an obvious negative space issue. It's the missing teeth. But there are other negative space issues here as well. Look at how the teeth meet at the tips of the teeth. Very irregular, large negative spaces right here. If I ask a whole room of people what the most important thing is in a good smile, most will say it's the white aesthetics, right? Wrong. If you don't get the negative space or the pink aesthetics correct, then you can actually ruin the case. So we had to get really creative about thinking about the negative space and creating illusions, because fundamentally the teeth weren't in the ideal position. It's a combination of art and engineering, and Phet absolutely understood that being an engineer herself. We got to work and carefully designed her smile and implants to fit in harmony with her bite and her facial features. We don't cookie cut this, because unless we have identical twins, everyone is different. No two cases of mine are ever the same. Because the implants take the longest to heal, in this case, we placed the implants first in the perfect position, and we did our hard and soft tissue grafting because the trauma of the fall broke some of the bone away and we had to graft more bone around the implant. We also had to add more tissue. When we have a high smile line, we need all the rebuilding of the hard and soft tissues to make it as good as we can get it. We do this, otherwise the case will be an aesthetic failure and possibly a nightmare. After healing, we did another smile design. At this stage, Phet wasn't certain whether she wanted to make her whole smile nicer with veneers. She was really contemplating whether just to do the implants and fix the largest negative space that was there, and that was all. She had crooked teeth, but didn't know whether it was worth doing the other teeth, whether it would make much difference at all. When I first started doing aesthetic work 20 years ago, there was no way to tell. We just said, hey, trust me, I think it'll look better if we just treated the other teeth. No, this is not acceptable now. We must know this by carefully transferring our digital smile design that suited her smile and her face and her bite for a trial run. So we first did a trial run for just the missing teeth. And we said, okay, this looks okay. Definitely better than when we first started. Let's see what happens when we do the front 10. Ooh la la, I like this. But the decision now is with Phet.
He's not just focused on my need only for that two tooth. So he's actually not really just concentrate on that, but he's actually rehabilitate the whole thing, the whole mouth really. And knowing that, you know, when you're so unsure of yourself and to put your trust in, you know, pretty much the whole of your face, you know, in his hand, and that's what's reassuring.
The time invested at this stage is worth every second, and through collaboration with the patient, we get our North Star guiding us to the goal that we're after. We get our finishing line. We then had to precisely handle the impression of the tooth preparations using advanced techniques. We carefully transferred the preparations to the master ceramist. The ceramist here is the true artist and creates Leonardo da Vinci-like work. We created the perfect emergent shape for the implants.
If you talk about my teeth, it's a struggle for 40 years. Yeah, I'm ready.
You're ready, yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Very good. Well, you've come a long way, and you're amazing. You know, so it's the last little bit. So at the end of it, if everything's okay, we glue everything on, and then we'll take a scan for the splint as well to protect it. The last part that for Phet is just like when you get a helmet for when you get a motorbike. It's the very best practice to wear an occlusal splint at nighttime while you sleep. When you sleep, a subconscious reaction to being busy, being stressed and anxious is to clench or grind your teeth together at about 1,000 kilograms through this muscle here called the masseter. It will chip and wear your teeth over time after repeated cyclic movements, and your teeth will break and wear down flat, just like this. So we wear an occlusal splint. And then we finally came to the results. What actually blew me away the most is speaking to her in person. She's no longer putting her hand up to her mouth when she smiles. She's so natural. What's inside being a funny person that loves socializing, she can actually do that now. That's her. And she doesn't have to think about it any other time of the day anymore. And for her to bring out her personality, it absolutely blew me away, and really, that's why I love my